back for another guitar session. Today we'll be continuing along with the chords for the verse and the chorus of Kick the Dust Up by Luke Bryan. So after the video, if you've watched our previous video, you know, the guitar riff, the intro or the tune, you have this clamp on capo 4. The chords basically are E minor that we need to know, and that basically is first and second fingers on frets 2, or fret 2 on the A and the D strings. So I'll place first finger on fret number 2 and then second finger also on fret number 2, and I just have to kind of cram them both in there. The beginning of the verse moves from E minor to C, and I use a C chord right here that's kind of like a Nashville C. There's no D string in it, so, and I also don't play the low E string here. So the C chord will basically be 1, 2, 3, 4 different strings, and that will complete the C chord pretty much. Starting with a C, fret 3 on the A. Third finger sort of laying over, doing the old bad technique thing, and choking out the D string, plucking the open G, plucking fret number 1 on the B string, and then the first finger is how we're performing good technique, rolling up so that we'll open up the open high E string. One of my favorite C chord sounds, and that is part of this tune as far as we're concerned about. And then the other chord that we'll need to know for the verse is D. Okay, so we have the E minor with a little ornamentation on the top. We start, the verse is that's a great part of the tune. It's got a really nice third finger or fourth finger. We're adding whichever finger you're more comfortable with, we'll use. The third fret on the high E string, or the can either be accomplished with the third finger or the fourth finger. Okay, but all we're doing is we're downstroking, and then with the third fret on the high E string, and then another one with the third finger off of the high E string. You know, basically an E minor chord. So after we do this strum pattern, 2 downstrokes, we've got this really nice up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down pattern. Okay. And then we move directly to C, 1 downstroke, D, 1 downstroke, and then turns around, and then we stay on the C, then we go to D, and then we go back into the main riff. So that chorus section is C, and it's down, up, down, up, down, down. And we're just going to use a simple strum pattern on the C chord, and it's the same C chord from the verse. Okay, and then G, same strum pattern throughout. So we're moving from C to G5, and I'm using the last 2 fingers on my left hand, but you could use any finger combination you'd like. I just probably have done this transition millions of times, and it's just the easiest thing for me to do. So we'll use finger 3 on the low E string, choke out the A, and then the open 2 middle strings, then fret number 3 on the B string, and then I'm just going to go ahead and choke out that high E string for now. Okay, so C, and then G, and then D, and then E minor. Then we're going to hang out on C, and then move up to D, and that will complete the chorus. Then we go back into, oh, actually this line is a little different. So if you've made it this far in the video, you get the extra bonus round here. So we've got this. Yeah, I had an Indian improvisation course quite some time ago in my life, and it was we used a lot of flatted sixths in this particular raga, or whatever the form of music was, and we have this really nice dark flatted sixth showing up in this tune at this point, which is, you know, not a really common thing to have happen in popular country music today, but it's happening in this tune. So we've got this variation on the main riff, which is pretty cool. And the variation actually starts with the open high E string. So we're just sort of bouncing around. So it's 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Right? So that's the count. If you want to rewind and just kind of follow that, it's going to be painstaking if you want to get it note for note, but you can do it. So open high E string. 1, 2. We've got to pluck everything almost all downstroke, except for that transition between the G string and the B string. So 2 open high E's, and then 2 open B's, and then we're jumping down to fret 2 on the D string. My guitar's a little out of tune, but we'll deal with it. Then from that second fret on the E of the D string, we're going to just jump right up to the G string on fret number 2, and we're moving from fret 2 on the G to the open B, and pull-offs on fret number 1 to open B string, right? And we just do that same pull-off. We pluck it once, and, you know, look ma, no hands, right? So we get this pluck once, and then pluck with the first finger, and you want to keep pulling down until the string sort of, if you're not familiar with the pull-off yet, we'll pluck and then pull down until the string sort of rolls out. It'll feel like it's going to roll out from underneath your finger. But you have to keep applying pressure to your first finger, right? So there's this. Okay, so that's pretty much most of the tune. If you have other questions, feel free to leave comments in the areas below, and subscribe. It really helps us out, and we look forward to creating some more great tutorials for you in the future. We'll see you soon.